Afghanistan. Let's speak with Globe and Mail reporter Graham Smith at the Canadian military base in Kandahar. Let's start with possibly the most shocking, and that's the acid attack on these schoolgirls. And how are they?
Well, it looks as though about 8 schoolgirls were sprayed with acid by 2 men on a motorbike early this morning on the west side of Kandahar city. The girl who was not wearing a burqa, that's the veil that covers the face, so that girl was the worst affected because she got hit right in the eyes. This beautiful brown-eyed girl we'll never see again, unfortunately. The others are not as seriously injured, and some have been released from hospital. But it's going to devastate the school on the west side of the city where a couple hundred girls are enrolled. Many of them say they'll never go back again.
Because their families are now going to keep them at home until security improves.
Yeah, and they acknowledge that they might be waiting a very long time because security is not improving. And they know that the mood is shifting in Kandahar, that, by their own admission, a lot of ordinary people don't want to see girls being educated. There were passers-by on the street who could have intervened and done something about this attack. It was in the middle of broad daylight. There were shopkeepers about. The men on a motorbike were apparently not armed, but nobody stopped them.
It's just awful. Now, they've also talked to us a little bit about this oil tanker. This was just driven up to the offices and exploded?
Yeah, this was a separate attack. It happened around noon in the center of the city. A truck exploded, carving a deep crater in the road. It was such a powerful blast that, windows were broken a kilometer and a half away. One of the things to note, though, Andrew Leslie has said that civilians are being targeted, and that is true, but they are very particular civilians that are being targeted. With the school attack, you saw, girls' education being attacked, which is something that is actually not popular among a lot of the people in the conservative Pashtun South here. And with this attack, with the truck bombing, in fact, it was exploded in a neighborhood where the former head of the Afghan intelligence service has a house, and a lot of his relatives live there. One of his brothers was killed, another one was injured. Bits of the provincial council offices ceiling fell down on members of the provincial council, and 4 politicians were injured. So although the victims were civilians, they were civilians who were closely associated with the government. And in this kind of a counterinsurgency, that's seen as a legitimate target, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, we have to leave it there. Graham Smith with the Globe and Mail, thank you very much for updating us on the situation.